It's time for Ask the Expert, your chance to learn something new every day. Let's find out who our expert is today.
Well, welcome to Ask the Expert. Barry Funkhouser here with my expert today, Jenn Boyd, environmental science teacher at Westlake High School and nature journalist, right?
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So tell us about yourself. First off, you're a Camarillion native, right? Born and raised here.
Born and raised in Camarillo. I grew up on the corner of pretty much Las Posas and Arneal. Went to Cornerstone Christian School at the time for my whole 1st through 12th grade. Went back and taught there for a year, discovered that I loved teaching, and went back and got my credential at UCSB. And I've been teaching at Westlake High School for 19 years.
Oh my gosh. So you see them students every single day talking about nature and science. And so what inspires you as an educator? What got you into this?
I think what originally got me into it was that I loved learning about life science, and that love for learning, I wanted to pass that on to others. And so that got me teaching biology. But then I had to teach environmental science because there was like a little recession thing, and they were like, oh, pink slip, unless you teach this class. And I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Oh, learn a new thing.
I learned on the job.
Yeah.
So I'd never taken an environmental science class in my life till I taught it. And my students that year really taught me a lot. Like one of my students ended up going to Stanford. He went to Copenhagen for the climate talk. So this was one of my students in high school. Like, he was just phenomenal. So he inspired me to do this work. And I understand now that the more we know about nature and understand how our actions can impact it, the more we can make better choices. And so I really feel like my calling is to teach. It's always been. And now that it's connected to the environment, it's to help make our environment better too.
Jenn Boyd, you had structure from the beginning. In the education of the classroom setting, everything is expected. You have a structure, a curriculum, things are going smoothly, and they've been that way for many, many years. And then a few years ago, something happened that split us as a community, which is a devastating disease around the world, and that definitely messed up your student structure and your curriculum. So what was that like?
So yes, 5 years ago or so, 6 years ago, that pandemic changed education. It changed the way I taught, and it changed the way I had to connect with students. So being remote that year took a toll on my mental health, because all the best parts of teaching were gone. The connection with students, like seeing their smiles, their faces, the fun of being...
Yeah, a lot of us forget that we were masked up for a couple of years and you couldn't see expressions. No. A lot of people don't smile with their eyes, so you don't really know what they're thinking or feeling. And as a teacher, educator, that doesn't fill your cup.
No, but even before we had the mask phase, it was remote.
Yeah.
And I had to relearn how to use, I had to learn that there was this thing called Zoom, and all the buttons, and Miss Boyd, you're on mute, and all of those things, and I losing the connection, and it was just such a change. Mm-hmm. And for some of my students, not being able to see their face on the screen even, so there was not even a half a face.
Oh yeah, they had just their name, or maybe not even that, right. You know?
The fact that even they showed up, I tried so hard to connect with my students during the remote phase. And once we were back in person, you're right, the mask hid so much of what the information that I get about how someone's doing, if they understand, if they don't understand, if they're feeling sad, if they're happy. You can't see any of it. But there was one day where I was able to take them on a hike. And it was that at that time we knew it was safe to be outside and you can take your mask off. And that was the first time I saw their faces on that hike, and the smiles and the sun on their face. And it was just the best feeling. And I knew there was something there with reconnecting and nature, and
especially since you learned on the job as an environmental science teacher, you have all of the pieces of the puzzle, but then there you are taking your students out, because there really is little choice to do anything but go outside. So there you are outside, and then you had that light bulb moment, ding, oh, there's something here with connection and art and creativity.
And just improved mental well-being and health by being outside.
Yeah.
So I knew then I need to get my students outside more, but I didn't know how to do that in a structured way in the classroom until I learned about nature journaling. And that just changed everything. My students love nature journaling. because number one, they get to go outside, so they feel like they're not doing school with air quotes, but we are totally doing science. We are totally connecting with nature and each other and taking a little mental break so that when we get back to the classroom and all the every other hour of different classes that they're doing, they have a little bit more in their batteries, you know, like they're just feeling better.
Yeah, it's great for your mental health. It's a great learning tool, just being out in nature. Now, I don't know what generation you are. I think we're about the same generation, but we had a field trip or two in our entire time, right? Did you? I mean, we didn't really get to go out as much. We had the green grass of the fields running around from the dandelions and the bees that were around, and that was pretty much it for nature. And then the community gardens popped up, but to be able to take your students out and touch and feel and explain a lot about what the environment's about is just genuinely awesome.
Yeah, and our hike was right across the street from campus.
Yeah, Westlake Village, you guys are kind of like half a
Open
city, and then there's all that.
Yeah, it's like right next to it. It's a perfect location to take students outside. So now we have gardens on campus. Like this whole inspired a whole change in how I thought. Like let's
So when did you start it? When did this begin? I know the building blocks were there and then the inspiration came, but now it's like is it a full-fledged thing?
It's a full-fledged thing that is still growing and it's still changing and transforming based on the needs of, you know, the community. Mm-hmm. But it started off with just me in my classroom, nature journaling with my students. And
what was the first project and subject?
The first was just the basics of nature journaling. And it was, let's go outside, let's find something in nature. Let's notice, let's wonder, let's draw, let's observe. And from there, they asked questions, the curiosity grew, that connection to that flower. They started to notice flowers change over the course of the year. That maybe they would just walk by before and it was just, you know, on the side of the walkway. And now they were noticing the trees, they were noticing the birds, and they would ask me questions. Me being like the science teacher, I'm supposed to know everything, but I did not know.
Hold on a second, let me Google it.
And we've got these things in our pockets that can just tell us answers to everything. And I was like, you know what? Let's just leave it as a question mark and let's continue that curiosity and hold tight and be uncomfortable with not knowing the answers. Because in school, it's like you need to know the answers. But I feel like in science, you don't know all the answers, but you got to keep asking the questions and keep learning about whatever it is you're observing. So that it was a great tool for my science classroom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so how has it evolved over the time?
So now, after I learned that it was working with my students, we were feeling more connected to nature, we were learning, we were doing science, and it was great for our mental health. I was like, you know what? I need to share this with other teachers. So I started sharing it with teachers on our campus. The principal was supporting me to help with professional development, not just in science. Cross-curricular.
Okay.
English, whoever, right?
Yeah.
And then from there, I started to do district trainings and whoever wanted to show up. And then now I also taught at the Gold Coast Conference, which is like a science conference in Oxnard that will happen in February. And I'm hoping to just continue to do that. If people want to learn, if teachers, educators, anyone now wants to learn, I started a club that is for the community, for anyone. You don't have to be in science. You don't have to be in education. You just want to connect with nature. I wanted to provide a space for that. So there's a virtual community and an in-person community. We meet once a month virtually and once a month in person at various locations in Ventura County.
Oh, I love that. Okay, how do we join that? How do we get hooked up with that?
So I have a website and there's a registration form on there. That's how you can connect with me. And then from there, I'll send you the Zoom link to join. See, Zoom is helpful.
Now you're, yes.
I know how to
It's
use
amazing.
it now. And we have people joining from all over the world.
How far? Tasmania?
Yeah, Tasmania. So we just did our last entry, or our last session was on signs of spring. And for her, it was the signs of fall.
Of fall, because they're on the other,
Because of the Earth's tilt.
Equator.
So they're on the opposite seasons of us. And it was just, it's so neat to be able to connect globally across the country, across the state, just people, whoever can join. Is maybe they don't have a community around them to nature journal with, but they have one virtually. And now we have one also in person. So if anyone local would like to do this in person, we have the space for that too.
So we can sign up. What's the website? We'll put it here. We'll put it here on the screen.
Okay.
And you can visit camaradio.org for all the details on it. We'll put a link up there. This is so awesome. So you do it monthly, you said? Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Rain or shine? Probably shine.
Shine, but rain is fun.
Yeah.
When my students, we had some rain, I did a nature journal with watercolor indoors, but it was the same idea, like water and looking at outside. We took pictures of the rain and different things in the rain, and then we came back and we nature journaled it with watercolor. So we use a lot of different media. It's just basically to have fun. Like, how long has it been since you've drawn anything or colored?
Well, it's not going to be any time. Well, we're going to do it now, so it'll be today.
Okay.
Today's the day. I think I'm going to experience it for myself, right? We're going to do some nature journaling. Okay. So I have a white piece of paper here.
Yes.
And it's all ready for something. We're going to do something here. Now, is this what we're going to be doing when you're out and about and virtually?
Yes. So we do this every single time. I go over the basics every single time. But once you have the basics down, you don't need that structure. Create your own structure. Do whatever it is you want to do to connect with nature. You can, think outside the box, and there's no rules to this. And it's not about art. A lot of people are afraid to draw because they haven't drawn in a long time, or maybe they've had a bad experience with drawing. But it's not about art. It's about observing nature closely. And the drawing helps us to see the details. So you want to draw something, you got to look at it closely, right?
Yeah.
So that's where the illustrations come in. We're also going to write some words on this paper.
Okay.
The words are going to help us remember where we were when we did this, what time, what day, who we were with, whatever you want to remember about that moment in time.
Okay.
And it's weird because when you journal, it feels like time pauses and you just lose track of it. And your to-do list that's like constantly hamster wheeling in your head, it can't be there for a moment because you're so focused on this whatever object that you're looking at in nature. And then the third thing we're going to do, so we're going to do some pictures, we're going to write some words, we're going to include some numbers.
Okay.
And that's just going to help us identify patterns later on and recognize things later on.
Okay.
So, we had a little
Okay, we're going to do it indoors.
Okay.
Because I have something in my mind that I can draw I'm only going to do one, just as a rapid fire here, because we have limited time on the radio here. So I'm going to do a picture of anything. It could be something living or
so it really
as if we were outside and there's something in front of me.
Do you have a picture on your phone maybe of something natural?
I have something in my mind already.
On your mind, okay.
I thought about this. Yeah. And can you tell what it is yet? Big.
Looks like a plant.
Yeah, but it's got a big trunk and it's very tall.
Palm tree.
It's a palm tree. It's a palm tree.
Excellent.
See, that's easy to do because they're everywhere here around town. Well, they're about 100 years old, so I hear they may not be here for a long time. Okay. They live like 125 years or something. But,
got it.
Okay, now a word.
Let's put in the corner, maybe like in a little section at the top. Let's put the date.
Okay, so I'm going to put the date.
And this just helps us remember where we were and when we were doing this entry. We call it metadata.
Metadata.
Yeah, it's fun to kind of record there. So if you want to ever look back on this day, like what was I doing on this day, you'll have it there. The location goes on the metadata.
So we're at American Pie. Coffee and Vinyl in Old Town Camarillo, the best place to get music and caffeine. Okay.
What's the weather like today?
Oh, it's always 72 and sunny out here, but I think it's 68 today.
And was it raining this morning here for you?
Beautiful sunny day today.
Sunny. Let's put sunny.
Okay. I like where this is going.
Yeah. And so this is the metadata. These are your words on your page. Now, if we were in person doing this in front of the actual palm tree, what I would ask you to do is touch the tree.
Okay.
Because whatever you feel, it's hard to put in the drawing, but you can put it in words. So in your imagination, how does this tree feel?
Oh, I've touched so many palm trees in my life. Do I write it down?
Yes. So this is where you're going to say, I notice. Oh. So I notice.
I notice how rough the tree's bark is. Mm-hmm. I think it's a tree. It might not be a tree.
Ooh, you actually stopped. So you actually went to the next one. I wonder is the next prompt.
Oh, really?
I wonder if this is actually a tree.
I wonder if this is a tree. Because it's not like the other trees.
Exactly. And then the last bit of the prompt is it reminds me of. So what does a palm tree remind you of?
Oh, a palm tree reminds me of paradise and Santa Barbara. There's a lot of palm trees in Santa Barbara and Camarillo, obviously. but just peacefulness and just a little bit of shade.
Yes. So you would write, it reminds me of all those things, and then what you're feeling, that peacefulness, and maybe a little gratitude for that shade on a hot sunny day. Like, these are all the things you can reflect and write about, and this is where you're connecting to nature. You look at that palm tree, you really get to know it. Maybe you said it, you noticed it felt rough.
It felt rough to the touch.
I wonder what it would feel like if you rubbed the hand the opposite direction. Would it still be rough? I wonder if the pieces of it fall off. Does it have bark? I don't know. See, these are all the questions that would come up as we were closely observing. How many palm fronds do you notice? How many little, I don't even know what they're called, the little bits on the palm fronds, how many are there? Is there anything at the top of the tree that looks different from the bottom of the tree? So you can look at every level of the tree, or even just do a deep dive on the frond.
Yeah.
And this is where nature learning takes you down this rabbit hole of curiosity, which connects us to nature, so that maybe we'll care about this tree so much so that we make different choices in our lives to protect the environment around us.
Different choices, and it opens up your mind to other ways of thinking about things. Analytics, I think, is involved here. I love how you put metadata in here, because that has always been a digital thing in my mind until today. Metadata is what we use a lot in, technical audio and video. So we always say that word all the time, and it's the most robotic Terminator 2 kind of word. But you've just changed that whole perspective for me by making metadata something tangible and from my brain to the paper. That's great.
And that's what nature really is, taking whatever is going on up here, putting it on the paper so that you can make sense of everything around you.
Jenn Boyd, you're an amazing environmental scientist. I'm sure you didn't start. What was your original dream, but I was going to say genre in teaching. What did you?
Okay. Originally it was biology.
Okay.
But in high school, I thought I was going to study biology so that I can go into, what's it called? I just lost the word. It's like what Amgen does.
Bioscience.
Biotech.
Biotech.
I thought I was going to go to biotech, but I realized I enjoy working with people so much, and I enjoy being in nature and doing something different every day. And teaching was that. Every hour is different, because every hour you have a different group of kids coming in.
And you're kind of always on the clock, too, when you're a teacher, because you're always educating. You can't turn that part of your brain off.
No, and that's kind of why I feel like even with my actual kids, I'm always teaching, so I'm always learning.
Yeah, it's a two-way street.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to show them all my picture, my sketch. Now, you will have plenty of time to do this in person. This was just 15 seconds, but you'll have an entire day to experience the air, experience the smells, the sights of being outside. And you pick really cool spots every time you go out.
Yes.
And if you can't be here, you can do it online, virtually, and get almost the same experience. You'll learn a lot.
Right. Thank you so much.
Jenn Boyd, thanks for coming on. Please come back again. Every season we should do this and focus on a certain type of flower or feeling or both.
Yes.
Okay, keep teaching. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.